My name is Sebastian. I'm 17 years old and a politics student at the King's School, Canterbury. In this interview series, organised by RUSI and NATO, King's School students are interviewing NATO officials to learn more about what NATO does and what it's all about 30 years after the end of the Cold War. At RUSI and NATO's Modern Deterrence Conference on Youth and National Security on the 21st of October, we'll again interview senior NATO officials. I'll be finding out more from Major General Michele Risi, Commander of KFOR, about NATO's operations. So to start off, why is KFOR still needed today?
Okay, first of all, thank you very much for this opportunity to talk to you and talk to you about KFOR. KFOR is quite an old mission, because since 1999, KFOR, which is a NATO-led mission, has represented a very important factor of stability in Kosovo, but not just in Kosovo, also in the Western Balkans. And I have to say that in the last 20 years, KFOR has enjoyed a quite solid reputation. We operate under a UN mandate, which is the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1244 that was approved in 1999. And we contribute on a daily basis to maintain a safe and secure environment and freedom of movement for all citizens of Kosovo, regardless of their ethnicity and religious orientation. Compared with the past, I would say that while 20 years ago, the security situation was very much different, and the primary needs of the population were focused on consolidating their own security. I remind you that 20 years ago, the majority of the Kosovo Albanians were expelled to Kosovo and had to emigrate in the neighbor countries. So when they returned, there were no Kosovo security organization, no Kosovo police. So we were the only security organization. Now we have another role also. We are also supporting the European Union facilitated dialogue between Belgrade and Pristina towards a normalization of bilateral relationship with a long-lasting solution to an ongoing issue which is still open. Today, KFOR is still playing at the same time a deterrent and a reassuring role, and is trying to contain domestic and external drivers of instability that might have an impact on the dialogue and therefore on the normalization of relationship between Belgrade and Pristina. So this is our role mainly in broad terms today of KFOR.
And what distinguishes KFOR from other NATO missions across the world? Is it just the facilitation of dialogue, or is it the type of missions that you carry out on a day-to-day basis?
Another excellent question. First of all, we should not forget that KFOR is the longest standing operational engagement for the alliance. And I would say that overall it is a very successful story. We should never forget that our multinational collective effort underpinned a strong transatlantic solidarity enshrined in the consensus-driven approach by the North Atlantic Council. So the fact that now 30 nations have decided to maintain this collective effort, which has a political and a military connotation, is incredibly important. We should never discount that. Secondly, it is a vivid example of the high level of interoperability developed by the troops that have been provided by the NATO members and deployed here. So we are working together under a unified military structure, and we are ultimately all accountable to a single military authority, which is SACEUR. Thirdly, I would say that we are contributing in the transformation of the Kosovo security organization. So it is, yes, a peacekeeping operation, but it is at the same time an organization that has shaped the security organizations here in Kosovo in the last 20 years. And now we also maintain a very important deterrent role, avoiding the resumption of hostilities. So you see, it is unique from resolute support and NATO training missions, which are the other two most important missions in NATO.
And following up on that, so Italy has more than 6,000 soldiers abroad at any time, including in Kosovo. Do you think a migrant crisis in Italy may have to reduce this number as soldiers are needed closer to home?
First of all, to answer to your question, I would like to put this into the right perspective. Italy has a long-standing tradition of participation in several missions abroad. We have been very active in the last 20 years as one of the largest contributors to NATO, United Nations, and European Union. When it comes to KFOR, Italy has been contributing substantially to KFOR efforts from the outset, from 1999. We were, along with the United Kingdom, one of the largest force providers. We entered with a brigade, United Kingdom provided a brigade at the time. So its commitment, Italy's commitment to a broad operation is very solid. And as I have said, for instance, at this stage, there is no end state for KFOR. And our mission is a condition-based mission. And the decision to either renew the mission or to change the mandate is based on a decision of the North Atlantic Council. And at the moment, Italy is supporting the decisions to maintain and renew the mandate of KFOR here in Kosovo. So the challenges of migration have been present, and I believe that require shared solutions amongst different actors, not necessarily military actors, but also with the international community. And I believe that Italy will maintain its primary international role in all these missions because Italy wants also that the migration issue needs to be resolved in an international way.
And are you noticing any malign Russian influence in Kosovo?
Okay, we cannot discount these malign presence. We have witnessed the presence of some journalists that were supposed to make a documentary on our presence here, but that is very minimal. What I can tell you is that the malign influence of Russia here can be seen or considered and read through the lenses of Serbian presence here. So it is an indirect presence rather than a direct presence. But at the same time, I have to say that it is not as strong as somebody may believe, since it is the ties between Serbia and Russia are quite important.
And speaking of infractions, what type of infractions do KFOR troops deal with on a daily basis?
The most relevant incidents we deal with today, every day, are inter-ethnic tensions. So incidents that between Kosovo Albanians and Kosovo Serbs. They are not in large numbers. We have recorded about 20 since the beginning of the year. But of course, these inter-ethnic incidents may sparkle more tensions between Kosovo Serbs and Kosovo Albanians. So this is one of the factors of instability that is keeping us busy. The other factor of, that we have to take into consideration is, of course, the possibility of being called as a third responder after ULEX, which is a European Union police force, and the Kosovo police, to respond to some major incidents, such as large-scale demonstration or protest. But again, we are here not to conduct any rule of law operations, and we are here as third responder. So this is what we do also to support the Kosovo police and the Kosovo Security Organization on a daily basis.
And finally, in some countries where there are peacekeeping missions, especially with inter-ethnic tensions such as Cyprus, these countries are quite peaceful. Do you think missions such as KFOR and the UN mission in Cyprus are still needed?
Every mission, every peacekeeping mission has its own context and historical evolution. So in each operational theater, there are different factors of security affecting, of course, the political, economic, and social domain. And then there are, of course, regional dynamics that you have to take into consideration. It is for this reason that we need to assess periodically against various parameters. These parameters I'm talking are measures of effectiveness or indications that we are getting closer to the objectives that normally are included in our mandate. And this is valid for a UN mission in Cyprus, NATO-led mission, or EU-led mission. So at the end of the day, we provide indicators to these benchmarks, but then it is up to our political decision makers at the NATO headquarters level to examine our assessments and to decide on the way ahead, meaning that it is not up to me to decide whether or not KFOR can reduce its manpower or needs to change structure, because this is all based on a politically driven decision based on our assessments, of course.
Thank you, General Risi, and thank you all for watching.
Thank you very much.